Hey everyone, it's Michelle from On Growing Works, and I'm here with Ben Dunn from Verge Permaculture, and we're on our fourth video now. This is a 4-video interview series between On Growing Works and Verge, where we're talking about all things permaculture, sustainability, and kind of what's next for our planet and how do we take some action to make our world a better place. So thanks for joining me again, Ben.
Yeah, of course. These are really important conversations.
Yeah, they definitely are. And you've provided some really thoughtful insight, I think, that people can definitely reflect on and dive in and learn more. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So I want to talk in this video a little bit about what's next for Verge. And the reason I want to talk about that is because you guys are leaders, right, in this permaculture realm. And I think it will give people a really good idea of maybe what's next for the industry, things that they can look out for if they want to get involved, learn more. So I just love to hear of, in the next year, what's going on for Verge.
Sorry to step on something there.
No problem.
Yeah, what is next for Verge? What is next for the industry? I guess I'll start with the general permaculture space. For anybody who's in the permaculture space, it's really easy to feel, like it's a really big thing, and it's really like happening. A lot of people are on board because it's still quite an emergent field. It was only founded in, I think it was like the 70s or 80s by Bill Mollison and David Holmgren. So it's still quite young, definitely not in the mainstream quite yet, but it's happening slowly. And, our mission at Verge, all of our projects, all of our action is directed towards empowering as many people as we can to go out and take action in their own lives, to go out and start a business, start a permaculture business, or start making change in your community, start making a difference. That is our goal. We want to train people to go out and have ripple effects in their own communities, to create not just a network, but a work net. Create all these nodes that are then creating their other nodes to have the most positive change that we possibly can. So that's what we are trying to do at Verge Permaculture. And so, we are doing that by providing as much free education as we can. So obviously our YouTube channel is a big place for that. A lot of how-to videos, tips and tricks, case studies, interviews, conversations with Rob. So definitely check out our YouTube channel. We're always putting out new content there. We have courses, of course. We have an online permaculture design course coming up. It starts November 18th. I'm not sure when this video series is coming out, but if you've signed up after November 18th, or if this video series comes out after November 18th, then there's going to be another permaculture design course next year. But we have other little education packets as well. Like we do live essential rainwater harvesting courses with Michelle Avis and Dr. Peter Coons, both of whom are leading rainwater harvesting researchers. And so that's going to be in January. Passive solar greenhouse design, a couple other things. But some new stuff on the go that has not quite, hit, gone public yet, but things we're working on behind the scenes is we're really pushing to get a podcast going. So, continuing some of those long form conversations that we had at the Hope Knowledge Plan Summit, conversations like you and I are having today, Michelle, just like really getting into the nuance of a lot of these issues that people aren't really talking about, and having these conversations so we can start to get other people thinking as well. So a podcast hopefully is in the works. We've been talking about it for a while. It's just hard to make time.
Absolutely.
We were talking about community in our previous series, like how to really start to build community. And so something that we're actually building is an app. We're going to have our own permaculture hub is what we're going to call it. So it's going to be its own social media space, social media, just a group community forum where you can, build your own communities on preserving food, harvesting rainwater, gardening tips and tricks, share resources, share upcoming events, really start to build out that permaculture community in a space that's not, governed by Facebook or Instagram, where you have some autonomy. So the app is a really cool thing that we have coming up. And then of course, it's kind of an aside with Verge, but Rob, if you attended the Hope, Knowledge, and the Planet Summit, you probably heard Rob's session on how to regenerate the Earth by 2047. So Rob has just partnered with a pretty big cryptocurrency company, starting this business called Fifth World, and they have a giant vision. It's truly immense. Like I don't know that I'll even be able to do it justice in this interview, but they're essentially trying to create a new economy, like an economic network around land regeneration, how to incentivize farmers, landowners, and individuals to, practice regenerative practices. I didn't want to say practice twice, but that's really it. Like to go out and start fixing their land, growing diverse crops, like increasing biodiversity, storing water, storing carbon in the earth. So this is still quite new. A lot of the nitty-gritty details have yet to be really smoothed out, but that's something that's in the works. And so the goal with that is, yes, to incentivize land regeneration with cryptocurrency, with wealth, tying wealth to land regeneration, but also to continue that skills training that we've been talking about in previous videos of how do we start to make a change? Well, it's like demonstration. Like we need to build more, we need to teach more teachers. We need more people going out there and educating other people. So that's a huge part of Fifth World, is building education centers and having online courses and building education centers in all of the world's major ecosystems. So very big goals, but we need to dream big. Like if we're going to make a difference, we need to have massive goals and move towards those in whatever way we can. So that's a obviously very surface level introduction to what Fifth World will be and what Rob is working on. It's not specifically what Verge is working on, but of course Rob
and Verge kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's wow. So many cool things on the horizon. And one of the things I really like about Verge is you have a vision and you go and do it, and you do dream big, and you're looking at what are the unique solutions that may be outside of the norm, like cryptocurrency and regenerative practices and like permaculture. Who would have thought that? So I love it. I think this is going to be so cool, and people should definitely stay tuned for more information.
Yeah, I mean, I can't take credit for any of this. Like I've been on board with Verge for the last year, and Rob and Michelle, and of course Dakota with all of his involvement. They have been doing this for a long time. They've been doing this for a decade, and all of that hard work is really starting to blossom. And so, yeah, we have to dream big if we want to make big changes. And so, all the credit to Rob and Michelle for kind of steering the ship, and for, building good teams, and just like throwing so much value at the public in any way we can, and just like really, embodying their work. They live permaculture. It's not just their business. Like I lived with them for a year, and like everything they do, they use permaculture in what they do, like as much as they can. It's really inspirational.
That's quite cool, because they're actually walking the talk. So that's that's amazing. One final question to wrap up our video series, and I know you touched on this a little bit at the beginning, but in the next year, what are we going to see in the permaculture industry in general? Is there anything people should look out for? Any trends that are coming up? Anything you're noticing?
I mean, without a doubt, things are moving online. Like everybody's hosting online permaculture design courses. That's quite a big thing. So yeah, I mean, interestingly enough, like obviously with all of the negative impacts that COVID has obviously had on the world, this online community has truly blossomed, like within permaculture, but just beyond. Museums, libraries, art galleries are now doing things online, whereas before it was all in person. So really, like the reach of information has truly expanded with more people online. And so, I think permaculture is really growing exponentially. because of that. Like, whereas before permaculture design courses, you'd reach 10, 20 people. And of course, you can reach hundreds now. I think Jeff Lawton has, maybe up to 1,000 people in his online permaculture design courses, which is like, yes, we need that. We need to start reaching as many people as fast as we can. So I think that's, and I think it is taking off. Like, and with COVID too, people are kind of waking up to a lot of those invisible processes that are driving our lives, right? Like, you go to a grocery store, that steak in that foam container with the plastic on top wasn't born that way. Like, think about the supply chain before that, all the systems, all the industry driving that. I think people are really starting to wake up to that and seeing, some of the negative impacts that humans are having on the environment. So, a new green movement, like people are gardening, people are growing food, people are interested in permaculture, people are waking up to the fact that climate change is a real thing, and we need to start making change. So I think that's what I've noticed, at least. Being in this space, maybe I'm a bit biased, but yeah.
I love it. It sounds like there's so much for people to not only learn, but just the access to information, it's there. And, we're still in the pandemic, and there's still lots of time. I think one of the gifts we've been given through COVID is time, despite how challenging it has been. So if there is an interest, for sure, to learn more about permaculture, people definitely have the resources at hand.
Yeah. And even if you're someone who, doesn't want to learn about permaculture, but you're a landowner and you want to do something with your land, and you don't have the time to do it, like, there are businesses like On Growing Works, and people that will come in and do the work for you and build out your landscapes and help you live a more regenerative lifestyle. And I think that's amazing. And we definitely need more of that, like more businesses like On Growing Works, more designers, more people helping people locally. So I think it's really important work, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And there's so many ways, and I know we've talked about this in our other videos, of it's like, no matter your industry, no matter what you're doing, there's ways that you can be integrating this. It's just a matter of learn more and see how you can have the greatest impact in what you do in your life, right? Yeah. So I think that's just wonderful. Ben, I think this is where we wrap it up. So on behalf of On Growing Works, I want to say a huge thank you to you and the Verge team for taking the time. This has been awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for reaching out and just continuing the conversation from the summit. I think it's really important that more people start thinking about this and doing some of this work. So kudos to On Growing Works for really taking the initiative there.
Hey, thank you. We really appreciate that. And it's been a pleasure to partner with you on this. We encourage everyone to go to the Verge website. You can learn more about On Growing Works at ongrowing.com. We'll get this, our video series is on our channels, and you can check them all out there. And we hope to hear from you very, very soon. Feel free to send us any questions you have, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Cool. Bye, everyone. Bye, Michelle.
Thanks, Ben.